Hello, everybody. This is Evangelist James Stell once again. This is the second session on anger management, and what we're going to talk about today is forgiveness. Forgiveness is a powerful thing. Forgiveness is something that needs to be done because it can work on your insides internally and just bring stress upon you. It can weigh down on you physically, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually. Because even in the biblical setting, it talks about how we have to forgive others. And even now, medically, it's saying that you have to know that if there's something inside of you that needs to be let go, that it needs to be let go. Because it can weigh on you stress-wise. First of all, I'd like to go ahead and give you the definition of forgiveness. And the definition of forgiveness is to grant pardon for remission of an offense or debt, to give up all claim on account of remit a debt, to stop feeling anger toward someone who has done something wrong, stop blaming someone, to give up resentment against all, or stop wanting to punish the other individual for an offense, a fault, or pardon. So that says a lot right there. It says to conclude all of this stuff. It says to grant a pardon. That is what forgiveness means. To grant a pardon. Now, with forgiveness, some parts of forgiveness, some wounds go deeper than other wounds. Because there's some knife wounds that just puncture the skin. And then there's some that's real deep off inside your heart. But the thing is that, and forgiveness is a process. Okay? It's not gonna go away just like that. Some do, but those deep wounds, that takes a process. And a process meaning that it's gonna take time of tearing down and building up. So in order for me to forgive, let's say someone that done something to me, it says I gotta grant a pardon. I'm the one that has to do the granting the pardon for remission. So a remission, even in the medical field, if cancer is on someone, the best word for a cancer patient is remission, because that means it's remissioning itself away from the actual result that it was going to bring. So when I do that, when I grant this pardon, there's going to be a remission there. And it says of an offense, to be offended by someone. You don't need forgiveness if there's not an offense that has happened in your life. I don't know what kind of offense they could have happened. The offense could have been sexually molested by somebody, family members, beat down, abused, verbally, starved, who knows, verbally abuse you, cuss you out, mistreat you in all kind of ways. Some family members, some friends that betrayed you, and it might still be a root of bitterness still off inside of you. But the thing about this here is that some people, there's 5 steps that we're going to talk about in this forgiveness episode. And the title of it is 5 steps that forgiveness will have to encounter. You will have to encounter these 5 steps to help you forgive someone. So it's saying right here that now also to give up all claim, everything, not just a little bit, but all claim. Because you got to understand this here. Unforgiveness is a curse. It's a generational curse. It's unforgiveness. Is some unforgiveness in families that people don't even know, and the kids are just brought up to hate another neighbor across the street, or hate another family member, or hate another individual. Some people don't even get along with their family members and won't even want to sit by them at church or sit by them at a family reunion because of unforgiveness. And it's deep. It's a curse. And the person that it hurts is the individual that's carrying it. And also there's even some people that have unforgiveness for people that's dead. Stuff that didn't happen to them and it's still on their mind. In their mind, because that's where resentment is. Because then it talks about the resentment, the feeling of, to stop feeling angry towards someone and letting go of resentment. Now let me give you the definition of a resentment. Resentment refers to the mental process of repetitively replaying negative feelings or an offense and the events leading up to it in the mind. So the enemy, like I said in the other episodes, the enemy that I got to worry about really is the enemy that's in me. So I replay this stuff in my mind. I give the license for the offense to play in my mind, and guess what? It plays me. So guess what? Now I have to put a stop to it, because now I have to recognize that it is a cycle that is going on and wants to take me down, wants to pull my blessings from me, wants to blindside me. Unforgiveness is a curse. And the only way to battle that is through forgiveness. Now, the very first step of forgiveness is, number one, is this. Ask for help from a higher power. To ask for help from a higher power. Because while some of this stuff is so deep down inside of us, we can't get rid of ourselves. We've been trying and trying and trying. Now, I know there's some people out there that might not believe in a higher power. I do believe in a higher power. My higher power, personally, testimonially, is Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. He is my higher power. Now, some people might have doorknobs as their higher power. They might have Buddha as their higher power. They might have Islam as their higher power. Whatever. If it's a higher power to help you get to that point, you need to use it, because you need to get there. My higher power helps me. But the only thing I want to say about this here is that if you have a higher power that's not exhibiting power, because the power is higher, so that means you're not in control of it. So that means this is a higher person. It's a higher power. If the power is not high enough to get you to the point of wanting to change you, you might want to retire that higher power. Put it on the retirement market and get you one that got some real power. Because there ain't no power if it ain't exhibiting no power to make you want to change. So, ask for help from a higher power. And that helps. I have to ask all the time. Because like I said earlier, there are some people that are dead. And they're dead and gone. But the resentment, what I say the definition of resentment is, it refers to the mental process of repeatedly replaying the scene and cycle over and over in the mind. They're dead in a grave, but guess what? What they done to you lives on in your mind. Your mind is carrying it on. And so a lot of people that we ask for forgiveness for, they don't even know that you still mad at them. Some of them don't. Because why? Their forgiveness, the point of their forgiveness is not on trial. So if they want to stay a certain way, that's on them. But yours is on trial, because why? It's in your head telling you that you need to get rid of it. And that's sometimes we can't do it all by ourselves. And we need God to help us. Number 2, think forgiveness. To think forgiveness. So what I say about that? Power. A lot of millionaires out there, a lot of creativity, a lot of stuff that didn't happen, even bodybuilders out there. A lot of people they almost came back from dead situations and dead circumstances by doing one thing, changing their way of thinking. You have to change your way of thinking. Negative thoughts gonna bring negative results. There's even a scripture in the Bible that states in Proverbs 23 verse 7, it says in there that whatsoever a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So let me break that down. Whatsoever a man or woman think in their heart, If you don't think that you forgiven, if you think that you fat, if you think that you ugly, if you wake up every morning and can't look at yourself in the mirror and speak positive of yourself, guess what? Those negative effects are going to weigh down on you. And guess what? That's when you're going to start your belief system, which is what we'll talk about in the third session of this, about beliefs and the belief system and the power of the belief system. And it's bad when we have a belief system that's rooted and grounded in negativity, because we are not supposed to have that as our foundation. So the thing is that whatsoever a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The word so means to the extreme. So I might not be thinking that I'm thinking something, oh, that's just small. But if I'm thinking it and I done relayed it and I put root in it, and every time I look at it, the film strip is there in my mind, guess what? I'm taking a chance and gambling on the so and bringing it to an extreme. Whatsoever man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And the word is mean present tense. So that means I'm bringing the past or past offense that didn't happen and bringing it to the present in my mind. And guess what? And that's what causes fear. Because fear is evil. Fear is an anticipated loss. Fear is something that's not good. It's negative. And fear will creep into my mind and in my spirit and in my heart, and I will walk around fearfully. Not reverentially fearfully, but fearing, scared to move on in life, scared to even think that I can't even forgive somebody. Now, after you done forgave somebody, you have to understand this here. Forgiveness is an act. It is not a feeling. The feeling, when it turns into the feeling game, as you have acted upon that and you have asked an individual for forgiveness for an offense that you have done, it is not up to you to make the individual receive your forgiveness. Your job is done. It might take a little while longer. Remember, I said forgiveness is a process. It might take a little while longer for the other individual to receive that forgiveness. And guess what? Some people might not even receive the forgiveness. It might never. But guess what? You have got your feet out of the fire by acting on it and saying, could you accept my forgiveness? So that should help you out as saying, dang, this individual, I didn't ask for forgiveness and he's still mad at me. You've done your part. Forgiveness is an act that's tied up with a lot of feelings, especially the unforgiveness part, tied up with a lot of feelings. But you made the act to want to forgive, and that is where your reward of healing and peace of self will come to pass in your life. So think forgiveness. Think. Whatsoever a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. A lot of the problems that go on today is because of our thinking and the stuff that we put in our mind every day of thinking. You think negative. If you hang around a dog long enough, they say that's when you'll catch fleas. So be not deceived. Evil communication corrupts good character. So if you communicating with somebody with a whole bunch of unforgiveness and they want to stay all mad at the world and ignorant, guess what? That stuff is going to rub off on you. Even if your mind is not on that, guess what? It is going to rub off on you, because why? You are hanging around the individual. Be not deceived. Evil communication corrupts good character. It didn't say the good character corrupt evil communication, but the good communication, the evil communications corrupt the good character that you have. So, now we're going to work on number 3. Number 3 is this here. Say it out loud to yourself. Say it out loud to yourself. What benefit, Evangelist James Stell, can I get by saying that out loud to myself? Well, sometimes when we try to do something and we step in unfamiliar territory, even like actors that play roles in movies and plays, before they get to the final part of acting out the whole script, there are a lot of rehearsals. So they rehearse. And then the good that they keep rehearsing it, guess what? It can get done. Because sometimes going up to somebody and asking for forgiveness, sometimes what happens here is that I'll get over here and I'm like, oh, as I'm fixing to do it, I have all these thoughts going through my head. Am I doing it right? Am I dressed right? Do I smell right? I wonder what the individual going to think. Maybe I should go ahead and leave. Maybe I should do this another time. Maybe I should just run and don't even do it. You have all these mixed emotions that go on in the head. And you can identify those things as they start to come up when you get ready to make this official announcement of forgiveness to an individual or when it's coming to you. So I don't mind doing that. Replaying and saying it out loud to myself. Because what if I say it out loud so many times and next time I get around the individual that I want, I clam up. Oh my goodness. I remember one time I forgave an individual for something. And I said, I just pray that you accept my forgiveness of what I done to you. Not being a good friend, not being a good person in your life, positive role model when I was younger and not growing up. And the individual responded to me and cussed me slap out. Told me you whoop the whoop, whoop the whoop, whoop, whoop. I can't stand your soup, bling, bling, bing, 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 bing. Bleep, bleep, bleep. And you know what? I could have felt really bad about that, but my higher power told me this. As I was walking off, you've done your part. You're released and free from it. See, forgiveness on the other person that's unforgiving, they don't want to see you free. Even though you caused the offense, and they don't want to be free because they want to have something to hold on to stay the way they are and not be accountable. They want to change. And so don't expect a lot of people that really want you to be free. Well, in some cases. But you have to take the initiative of saying, guess what? I want to be free. Because ain't nothing like freedom and liberty. There's a lot of people out there that are not free and liberty-wise and not free and have no peace because of this subject of forgiveness and unforgiveness right here. So now, what we're going to talk about now next is number 4. Number 4 is say it out loud to someone else. Accountability. To be accountable. So, say it out loud to someone else that helps you have some accountability there. Because like I said, some areas in this forgiveness and this unforgiveness thing get so tight and get so strong that you might need some help from somebody else to let you know, that you're doing the right thing, that you want to do the right thing, and encourage you to go ahead and move forward in it because it's going to lead to your inner personal healing. You want to get rid of resentments, y'all. Resentments is what's killing a lot of people out there. Negative connotations, negative things that didn't happen. Referring to the mental process of reliving things over in your own mind, things that are in the past. Do you know that 90% of the problems that we go through come from our past? Because I can't wake up and say, I'm mad at tomorrow because tomorrow is not even here yet. So I can't wake up and say that I'm mad at tomorrow. It's not. Now, if I have an expectation that tomorrow is going to be bad because of the situations, the circumstances, and events that I have been getting from yesterday and bring that into my today, guess what? I set up myself to have a negative tomorrow. Kind of like self-sabotage. I have to quit self-sabotaging my whole life and my future in my mind because of fear. So now, say it out loud to someone else. There's nothing wrong. You need something. We need an accountability partner. Man upstairs did not put us on this earth to live it out by ourselves. And I'm not saying relationship wise or nothing, because sometimes you don't need nobody right then and that's for a relationship, but somebody that you can relate to. Because there is somebody out there that have been through a lot often you. Even in AA, they stress that you get a sponsor. That is somebody that you can call on, somebody that's dependable, somebody that's not going to ridicule you, somebody that's going to hold your feet to the fire and let you tell you can walk on water, that you can walk on fire, and that you can make it across this bridge. You're going to need that kind of encouragement. You're going to need some people that's going to hold you accountable to want to get this done, because you gotta say, this is the end of all this unforgiveness. I'm getting too old for this now. It happened 20 years ago. And I'm trying to look at 20 years forward, and I can't do it clearly with these blinders over my eyes of the things that happened to me in the past. And that's when I can go back to asking for help from my higher power. Remember this here. If you've been carrying unforgiveness for years, and you've been a home to unforgiveness, it is not going to want to let you go. Not like that. It's not going to want you to cancel that debt like that. It's been living up in you for years. It's been, in fact, put it to the point like this: all that unforgiveness been sitting up in there and it's sitting up there with lawn chairs and barbecue pits and all kind of relaxation. It done set up a spa inside of you. In fact, living rent free, wearing you out, and ain't giving you no kind of credit for allowing it to stay there. Just wearing you out just like termites, tearing you down spiritually, tearing you down mentally, tearing your joy down, making you feel like you're not good enough for a good man, making you feel like you're not good enough to be a good wife or a good husband, mentally tearing you down, verbally tearing you down. So you have to serve these offenses an eviction notice. And guess what? This eviction notice that you're going to serve, your resentments inside of you, these are the kind of tenants that's inside of you that's going to fight. Even though you done told them, I'm going to call the laws to get you up out of there, they stubborn. Because why? You know your fortitude, you know that your character has been a stubborn person, and it does not want to leave. But you have to make up in your mind that you are leaving. And every time those resentments come to your head, you have to remind yourself, you know what? I've already forgiven that person. I am not going back there making it seem like it's day one again. I have forgiven this individual. It's done. Don't make me feel like that I done it again. It's done. The act is done. Whew. I felt something right then and there. Thank you, Jesus. Somebody finna get free because of what they listening to this right now. Somebody's about to get really free in their spirit, in their mind, in their soul. It's time for you to get free. It's time to let go of all this unforgiveness. It's time. It's done. It's an act. Because if not, it's an unforgiveness. It's an unforgiveness is a curse, and I said that earlier. And when I say it's a curse, it's a curse that can be carried on. What happens is the other individual that you have unforgiveness for, guess what? They control you in their mind. They control you. Because they're not the ones that's affected when they see you. You're the one that's affected when you see them. And when you see them, guess what happens? You the one walking around all disgruntled, hairs growing up in your back, growing on the back of your head and growing up on your back. You're the one that's feeling the effects of it. It's an unbiblical cord that's feeding nothing but negativity and eventually wants to offer you death. Because the stress from it can kill you. So it is time to, just like every baby that's been born, and you want to be born into this newness of forgiveness and walking free, you got to picture yourself as snipping that unbiblical cord of unforgiveness. I let it go. I let pain go. I let hurt go. And if I don't know how to do it all by myself, I'm gonna say it out loud to somebody else and let them show me, hey, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna make it. Because some things is hard to forgive. I know it is. People that have done something so wrong to you, stuff that you dare not even tell somebody else. It's some stuff that relatives and so-called friends done to you that you ain't told nobody, and it's still just sitting up inside of you. And every time you think about it, you have a negative effect, and it affects you all the time. Because why? It wants you to stay in that shell, because if you stay in that shell like that, it covers you over with shame. And then shame gets to the point to where you get the feeling, okay, then you start thinking about what other people think about you. What would they think about me telling somebody, being a man, that I've been molested by another man? That's just not a manly thing to do. And so us men, we know how to shut down real hard anyway. That's our goal, is to shut down and not communicate. We know how to do that. We can shrivel up and die emotionally quicker than a woman can. But not so, not this go around. I'm gonna let it go this time. You understand what I'm saying? I said that you are gonna let it go. It's time for it to go. So say it out loud to someone else, because that issues out accountability. All right. Now we're on the last leg of it now. Number 5. Reconciliation. Okay, number 1 is asking for help from a higher power. Number 2 is think forgiveness. Number 3 is say it out loud to someone or to yourself. Number 4, say it out loud to someone else. And number 5 is reconciliation. Reconciliation is this. It's having a renewed relationship or reconcile with another individual, he said, and being free from it all, to reconcile. But the reconciliation that you need, and what we're talking about mainly, is with yourself. Reconcile. Even in the Bible, it says Jesus came to reconcile men, to be peaceful, to have peace again. So reconciliation, to reconcile, a renewed relationship, or a mending of one. Now, what I mean by that is that, remember earlier I said that there are some people that's not going to want to be relationship to be remended. And there's some people you're not going to want to remend with as well, because forgiveness is an act. So the thing is that you do your part. The relationship might not get renewed. Hey, I was married before and divorced. That relationship is not being renewed to a point of us getting back together. But it is at least coming to a friendly basis of understanding one another and letting go of the past. And that was a process in itself. So at least we have renewed it to a friendly level. But you do your part. And so the thing is, the reconciliation is with yourself. So be ye reconciled. Reconcile yourself to the peace that you need. Reconcile yourself to the understanding that you need. Reconcile yourself to where you need to go. And how do you know? I heard a person say it like this. How do you know when the hurt is gone away? It's when you can think about it, and all that's left there is a scar and no pain. We all have scars. I got scars all on me. On my arm, I got scars on my legs. We have scars. And those scars are lessons learned. And it's letting me know also, you cannot just go out and trust any and everybody. You have to wait and check a person's fruits and see where they at in life. The actions gonna always speak louder than words. Always. So, don't carry a lot of this stuff here no more. Reconcile. Reconciliation. Deep down inside, you want to do it. It's been calling you to do it for quite some time now. But guess what? Fear comes over and say, you know what? I'm just going to keep things like it is. Why should I do it? I don't owe them nothing. They the ones that did it and hurt me. So-and-so whoop the whoop, whoop the whoop. And guess what? It's stealing things from you. I always have to worry about the enemy that's in me. So what? Forgiveness. To forgive. What's the definition of forgiveness again? The definition of forgiveness is to grant pardon. That means you have to do it. For or remission of an offense, a debt. When how do you know if things ain't unforgiven? If you still in unforgiveness, is when you see the individual and you still feel like, wait a minute, I owe you something. Oh yeah, or you owe me. There's a debt still there that you won't pay. To absolve, to give up all claim. Woo! To give up all claim. Even though in my right mind, I'm not wrong because you offended me, you done it to me. I give it up. I give the claim up. On account of remittance, a debt or obligation. And guess what? We're talking about anger management. This unforgiveness has a lot of holding anger management. Holding anger, and holding wrath, and holding rage. Remember, anger, rage is uncontrolled, violent anger. The deadliest form. And also in the definition it said to stop feeling anger. To stop feeling anger toward someone who has done something wrong. So am I still feeling anger? Is the film strip still being played in my head? Is the hurt still there every time I see the individual? Every time I think about the individual? That's called resentment. To stop feeling anger towards someone who has done something wrong. To stop blaming someone. Blame has a lot to do with that, because why? Unforgiveness has a lot with being irresponsible. I have to take responsibility to the part that I played in it by holding the grudge. Yes, I didn't cause it, but I did hold on to the grudge. Stop blaming someone to give up resentment against, or stop wanting to punish someone. What it's saying is that, guess what I'm saying? For an offense or fault, and it's telling me to pardon the individual. So what it's telling me is that I have to bring all these years of pain, I have to bring all this to a point of conclusion. Do you know what a conclusion means in a book or a script or a movie? To conclude something means to bring to an end. Bring to an end. And it is time to bring this unforgiveness and this hurt and every little seed that led up to it. It's time to bring it to an end. Are you willing to bring it to an end? My brother, My sister, it's up to you. You fighting a war. And guess what? Sad to say, everyone that's holding on to it, you the only casualty. Unforgiveness will have you making you feel like that you living and dying at the same time. Because when it's in the mind, you don't know, it ain't no telling when those thoughts will pop up in your head, even at unexpected times. And you think you got your mind and thoughts under control, but now with those offenses still up in there, they can come and pop up anytime and make a good day bad. Having a good day, thoughts in the head from resentments, from situations, circumstances, and events will make me feel bad. So, I ask for help from my higher power. I pray to him every day and say, God, forgive me if I've held anything inside of me against somebody, and whatever process I'm in, keep me on that road to get ready to get them out of there. And if you see an open way for me to do it that I'm scared to go through, help me, because I need to get there. I need to see the other side of this rainbow. And you do too. So this concludes the second segment of anger management, which is called 5 steps that forgiveness will have to encounter. I know it's going to help somebody. I know it's going to bless you. Take care. Be blessed. And as long as you got breath in the body, my brothers and sisters, there is hope. Always remember that. Oh, and also remember that forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is a gift that you give yourself. You're like, wait a minute. How is it for myself? You know, the other person offended me, because why? It sets you free. So obviously, even in scripture, Jesus said forgive way more than 7 times. He said 70 times 70. So he's trying to let you know, and just like in the world, is that you want a gift to keep on giving? Forgive. You'll never go wrong. If you forgive, forgiveness will be issued out to you. So remember, forgiveness is a gift. Not for somebody else, but for you. Goodbye, and bless you.